Yo, what's going on? I wanted to make a casual walkthrough for this game, going over some of the rudimentary speed strats. And I say rudimentary because I pull off the most rudimentary stuff. There are way more optimized things in the higher records, but I wanted to give my take as a more casual player of this game. And I say casual because only beat it for the first time a couple of days ago on stream. And then I wanted to get a 1cc or whatever. And then I started grinding a little bit, and here we are with it. Right now I think we got a 1030, and I'm looking to get a sub 10 at some point. So I wanted to go over some of the things I do to make getting a fast 1cc possible, and particularly if you can't do the top level strats, because the top level strats, even for me, I'm looking at them, I'm like, holy cow, not going to do all that, but we can do some of them. Two things I guess I want to say, and by the way, this is unrehearsed. I don't got a script, so I'm hoping to get everything I want to say in one take. Two things I want to say about this game right off the bat. If you want to have a fast time, you need to mitigate for lag, which is something I've never experienced really in a game so far in my speedrunning. So that was interesting and new. The second is that Earnest Evans controls like a fucking mess, and he's like a puppet on a string. They call it I always said we. I guess I could say we now that I've submitted run. They call it Quappelvania. I call him Silly Noodle Man. And there are just a lot of problems with how he moves and walks and runs and ducks, and everything has delay to it when you're going from crouching to standing and laying down. Also, sometimes when he's running, he can't jump if he's midair, and sometimes when you're going up or down a hill, it'll mistake like every other frame as being in the air, and you can't push a button. So imagine like running with Mario, and every other frame you can't jump, and it just feels bad sometimes. So you will see on my own input display, I'm sometimes mashing it going down a hill and not even getting one of them to come out. So let me just think. I think that's all the preamble I wanted to say. Most of my resets came from resetting in levels 1 and 2. Level 1 sucks if you want to get the quick pattern. Level 2 can kind of be a pain sometimes, at least for me. What else? The fish fight towards the end is a real issue, but I got a good one in my run, a decent one at least. And I think that's about it. The game is 12 levels long, but it's more like 10 and a half because you could skip one entirely and skip half of one. So that's nice. And those two skips are not difficult to do. So if you want to get into a run casually and be able to pull off some fun level skip stuff without needing to zip through a wall or do anything crazy, you can sort of like wet your beak with this. So to start this off, I am going to show what the world record holders level 1 movement looks like, so you know what I'm talking about and how silly it is. And there is one alternative for it. I think the person in third did it, or fourth, I forget. But I'm not going to show it. I don't have it queued up, and I'm not going to pull it up. So just to show you what level 1 optimal movement looks like, it's this. You want to do this little wall jump, which could be tricky, especially at our first time for me. You want to go right up here and get damage boosted up and then damage boosted through. I played this game on and off for about 10 to 12 hours yesterday, and I think I maybe reset like 150 times just on level 1 trying to get that. And I would say that out of like an hour of resetting on level 1, I got that to happen once. It is so fucking finicky. That's why even at the end of my run, I'm like, level 1 sucks. So it is very finicky. It is very tough. I am not going to show that off, though. What I am going to show off is what I did with mine. And please mind the layout. I was grinding this for so long, I had to make it funny to myself. So I made it look like a GeoCities thing just to keep myself sane. So this is what I do. I do the little wall jump here, right? You're gonna see it. I have like a 90% chance of failing on the first time I go left and up these vines. I sort of jump low to kill the sausage worms, take a little bit of damage, jump over the potion, and go through like that. Not too hard to do, and I can get that with some regularity. I sort of make sure to jump. I feel like if I jump too high here, I get obliterated by the skeleton dude and can't move. And if I jump, there's like this just one little space I can jump in that has me kill the sausage vines and get over him without taking too much damage. And then that jump's a little stupid. And then just make sure to about face to damage boost through. Mash start on wake up. This avocado boss is a real pain. From what I know, and I also meant to say this, I have not frame counted anything. I have not grinded cycles. That is not really where I'm up to yet. I don't understand if things I encounter are RNG or are set patterns and I'm not realizing. So I'm, like I said, I'm going to be giving the most casual of walkthroughs to this. Excuse me, I am drinking water. So I pretty much just hope for a decent pattern that keeps this guy on screen for a while, and he dies close to the left-hand side so we can walk right out. And that's what happened, and we got lucky. Just walk forward and fall off this. Sometimes here, around this part, once you fall to the lowest level, you can get hit by a big rock, and it'll send you forward very, very fast. I think that's maybe how we got our 46 here in this split, or whatever. But I'm usually in the red after level 1, after getting such a good split. And we just go, and the level ends. I kind of just stand still at the end of levels to mitigate for lag. I usually think that having the game not process too much is the way to go. Okay, so level 2. There are 2 vines that pop out in the next couple of seconds. I don't understand them. They seem to be completely random in their shapes. They could take up like half the frickin' screen if you don't kill them. And the reason I picked up on from, and like I said, there's no tutorials or no explanations or nothing. That's why I'm making this. But just from watching the other runners' runs and explanations, it sounds like you got to kill these things to reduce lag. Because if they stay in memory, the game for the rest of this level lags a hell of a ton, and they're really big. And like I said, you can really feel it. I think I feel it. I'm not sure if it's a placebo effect, but I opt to do what they do and kill these things just right there and right there. And sometimes you can not get hit by it. Sometimes you can. Yeah, we just make our way over here, and of course now we're going to get to the vine swinging mechanic, which I am still having trouble trying to like figure out the specificities of. I'm not even going to go into it right now. You could look that up on your own, and if I ever have any better, more definitive information, I'll put it out there. But just good luck, have fun with these swinging portions. So we want to grab onto that. I correct a little bit there because I didn't think I could reach that second one, and maybe I couldn't have. So whatever, we get there. You can get to this point on a really good cycle to just catch this first moving platform moving up, and then just like hop to the second and wall jump up, which you're gonna see, but I get clipped by the tremor monster. Like I said, I don't know about cycles. I've hit a good cycle before. Maybe one day I'll figure out how to get the better cycle for myself, but you can get a better cycle to make this part a little easier. We just want to go there, and then we just wall jump up by holding up and jump. And you can see my inputs, so if you ever want to like look at anything, and this is pretty self-explanatory, just jump off here and tuck in here, get nice hat. Hey, that's a nice hat. We get the hat, which gives us, whatchamacallit, a laser whip? I don't know. It upgrades our whip. Maybe that's something in the story I didn't pick up on. And then we just want to jump. These things are hanging on vines. It looks easier said than done. It's like you have to have the middle of his body aligned with the rope or something. And even with that, it feels like that's off center. I don't know. Just have fun. Good luck. Understand it yourself, because I barely do. We got to crouch down to go in here. I go belly for some reason. I hit down too many times. You can't stand up here if you're too close to either one of these walls. So if you're too close to this slant over here, you'll stand up and crouch back down. If you're too close, push into the wall when you try and stand up, you just won't. So I try and just like stop, wall hop up this. Make sure you're just holding right when you jump off the wall, or you won't get that high jump. And we just walk into this dude and whip him a bunch and kill both. There's 2 segments here. There's the body and then there's the head, or there's the body and the tail. I don't really know what the fuck I'm looking at. And I've had it happen before where I've been able to kill the head while the body was slightly still active, and I was able to jump off it to the left. I don't know if, that gets it. I think, just getting away from bosses and stuff more quickly reduces the lag, and I see other people do it. But we didn't get the about face here. Let me just kill the bees and walk to the left and, you know, let the stage end. It could have been a better level. This level, I know there are some better cycles you could take advantage of with some of these ribcage-looking enemies that deal a lot of damage. I try and avoid them as best I can. I accidentally fell down into that. Pretty sure you move faster when standing as opposed to crouching, so I try and do that more. Those things can just suck the life from you. Here, I learned something new in this run. Apparently you can't fucking pick up items when you're crouching. So, make sure you stand. And get the dung rocks or whatever, the dung pile. Go through here. Pretty sure you can get this on a better cycle. Oh wait, this isn't that part yet. So there's a ribcage guy will appear here. There he is. And there's another one underneath. I don't even know how he got there. I don't know if those ribcage enemies are randomly placed throughout the level from the go. And you just sort of, you know, however fast you move is wherever they are. Or random. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll figure that out for myself. Make sure to stay crouching here. Don't do what he did. You throw a couple of rocks there, you'll kill that scorpion. I throw 2 just to, like, seal the deal and make sure. This level's pretty straightforward. There's extra items and stuff, but we're not using them for this run. Get over there, throw a rock right there. I just, you know, I use that little nub. And with that little nub, I just throw it. And I walk right, jump, and throw right around there to clip that one. Ribcage enemy out of nowhere. I didn't even know they could get this far into the level, but there they are. You want to sort of jump in between these arms of the enemy and throw the rocks. You'll kill them in a few hits. I accidentally got too close and died. So, this split kind of put me ahead, unfortunately. I don't know if having the ribcage enemy there made the lag worse. It might have. I'm not really sure. Alright, this level's pretty straightforward too. The other thing I will say is the middle of this game is pretty quick. If you just get this cycle right here, you're good to go there. Pretty self-explanatory here, nothing too stupid. Get that Morning Star enemy that deals massive damage on the boss. I think you need it for the quick kill. You take the bottom path here. Make sure to, like, walk off and then stop with your coyote time here. Because if you don't, you'll get hand buzzard and just into the spikes and take a lot of damage. Can't seem to avoid taking no damage from him. Make sure you jump into these from the left-hand side. If you jump into them from the right, it'll think you want to go left, which is bad. There is a way to get up this hill in like one quick fell swoop, but I didn't go for it. I took it a little more slowly there. There is a better cycle you can get on this. Once again, the vine here. Okay, editing punk here. I realized that for the past 10 minutes of this or whatever, I had my microphone set on a delay because I was doing something with my Elgato. So I need to go back and fix that. I'm reminding myself now to go do that. So where were we in here? Hold on, let's go back to this. So yeah, there's a better cycle you can get on here. I missed this vine or whatever, the rope, and double back, thank goodness. Sometimes that thing doesn't whip me right. Yeah, you're going to want to jump over that guy right there. And that's why I do have this split named as Gamera 2, because I forget all the time about this thing. And I think I'm one screen forward and about to walk down a hill. And I don't, and I just walk right into him. And probably usually lose a life, because you take damage per frame in this game when colliding with enemies. Alright. No big deal, no big deal. Now, here's something I see the speedrunners do, and I don't understand why. Maybe I have an idea why. But they go belly down here and whip the boss from a very particular place. I know the male or whatever does damage per frame, and maybe they know the exact positioning to keep him getting hit for as long as possible and time it perfectly. I've seen people get a 1 cycle on him. I've got a 1 cycle on him. I think I've even killed him in 2 fucking hits. It's really weird. I don't know why. We don't get that cycle here. And yeah, he sends down these pillars, which suck. We didn't kill him there. Then he does explosions. Then he does the wall swords or whatever. And just, you know, sure. I'm just going to skip through some of this because not really important from this part out. I try and run. Oh, no, I'll let this next part play out. I run away from the enemy to try and reduce lag. Hold left at the start of this level, and you'll land on top of the train. And here's the first half a level skip. I jump early, so I only take damage from the bullets. Sometimes that second guy will just jump over me. He didn't there. and I was kind of too stun locked to react, so I just said screw it and go through them. And we're at the boss already. We whipped that coal pile. By the way, we did collect a treasure on top of there. What the game wants you to do is go through the bottom of the train, loop around, and grab the treasure, and then this guy appears. Be able to skip that, and then we just go right into the plane. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels. Hold right at the start and get on this car. That'll drive real fast. After you see the two dudes, we're gonna want to jump and make a big jump. It goes fast, so I kind of like count the lights, and I've never actually slowed down to count them, but I sort of count like a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I jump, and that usually puts me at a good distance to jump and be right near the next vertically moving platform, so I can get up to the level on the right cycle or whatever. And here's what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the wrong thing. Oh no, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there you go. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, so here, I think these enemies appear in the same way every time, so you could time this to get minimal damage taken across all these dudes. Like I said, I wasn't grinding the individual parts of each level too often yesterday when I played. I was just kind of like grinding level 1 and 2, and that was pretty much it. But this boss dies easy peasy. And we're on to the next level, which to me looks like Shinobi 3's bio level, so that's what it's called. I see people whipping these worms above to kill them and reduce lag. Sometimes I get on top of there in one jump. I did there. I killed the second snake. Good, good, good. There's some hidden enemies in these things that if you touch them, it's bye-bye life. Also, like in level 1, you saw me get back boosted when I died. And there's usually a point in this level where I'm about to die, and it's not the same every time because I just can't keep it regular like that. And I'll usually try and turn left so I get boosted to the right at the very least. There's a section coming up where I was trying to get hit by some fish and missed, and ran to one, and then ran to the right and ended up dying anyway. So I wasted time, but you'll understand my thought process when we get up to that point in a minute now. There's a snake that appears on the floor. Sometimes I don't think the falling quicksand actually affects the way you jump. I've tried it, but maybe I'm wrong. So here I was like, oh, I'm dead. Let me go find a fish. Nothing, and then fucking fish kills us anyway. Or whatever the hell that thing is. I haven't zoomed in long enough. And here's the end of the level. Ah, Chain Coon, our beloved. First of all, astounded that my first time, look at this very high detail chain hanging in the foreground. We love her. She's what keeps us going through these tough times. But I feel like with this boss, it appears at random times on the stairs. I don't understand why. Sometimes I feel like I'm running for 2 seconds and I find it. Sometimes it feels like 10 or 15. And we got a pretty quick kill on that. I talked over this, but if I remember correctly, the middle top of the enemy is the only part that hurts you. I think you could stand on the arms. Maybe the hands hurt you. Sometimes I'll get stuck in this tug of war where I'm on top of the arms. It's moving to the right, and I'm moving to the right, and like keeping track of it. It's not too bad. Try not to get sucked into the middle too much, or you might clip through the head and take a shit ton of damage. There have been strategies where I've just laid down on the stairs and had a pretty good run at it my first time. But yeah, it felt like we got pretty lucky. Also, if I didn't mention it, your whip deals damage per frame too, so sometimes lining up in the best way with an enemy works. I go a little down the stairs just to stop. Scroll the enemy off to get no lag. There's a very, very, very big boost you can do at the top of this level that I tried to fuck around with and couldn't get. I watched the task and read the task notes to try and understand it more deeply. Even at my save stating it, I couldn't really get it even once. But you can get a very big boost at the very beginning of the level to get over the falling tree that we're going to see in a moment. And it saves a ton of time. I don't think I've seen any of the runs put off real time. It might be task only, but I did hear a runner mention it during a live performance. So I know it exists. I've almost seen it, but I can't get it. I can get very close to the top of the tree, but I usually get hit and take free. I accidentally grabbed that vine. That's fine. So I kind of duck right here as soon as Earnest Evans' head hits this background tree. Crouch to duck, crouch to belly roll, and then roll through the tree. or else it's going to deal a ton of damage to you and knock you back very, very far. You could lose a life easily. You could lose 2 stocks of life easily. We stand up. We grab the shaman stick. In the water, there are piranhas that'll latch onto your feet. I don't know if it's as soon as you touch the water. Sometimes I feel like I jump a bunch real quick and they don't latch on. And it also seems I have a problem getting them off of me sometimes. It looks like the only way to get them off of you is to use the shaman stick and attack, and your arm will reach behind you and kind of like knock them off your feet. It's weird. I don't exactly get it. I might want to grind it out one day and understand it a little better, but you'll see me. I'm jumping at him, getting bit. Yeah, and I end up, you saw the explosion by my feet. Grab this apple, and if you gotta touch it with like the center of your chest to actually grab it, so I set myself up to actually grab it. I've got better patterns on this boss where I was able to just keep it circling around me, but that was still a pretty good kill. Okay, and we're almost at the boss right now. The boss appeared. I used to use that tree as a thing. So this boss is going to split up and branch out. You can only hit the flowers, and the stem doesn't seem to hurt you. But it's going to move all around, and it can suck you into places where you're just getting mashed per frame by the heads. I opted for a safer strat and sort of jumped out before it did that because I just wanted to get a decent run. I've been grinding this for like 10, 11, 12 hours throughout the entire day on and off while doing other stuff. I had a 1034 that I was on the wrong scene in OBS, so I was annoyed. It was late, and I wanted to get a good run, at least recorded, and end the day on a W. So, you see, we just do our thing, we kill it. We are about to skip a level after this by wall jumping up and to the left, and this is something that I felt was a possibility from the moment I saw it. I knew the game was jank, I could just smell it. I've encountered weird stuff like this. This is because the screen ends way below you, and you can vertically screen wrap to it from above. I was like, why do they not drop you off near the very top? What's up with that space? And I felt like I could do something with it. That was fun to figure out. 1 sec. Hold on. Oops. Let's take a sip of water. I'm going to have to edit this a little bit now. Okay, so a quick, just doesn't seem like a very difficult jump. Sometimes I get hung up, but you should be able to do it to just get up there. And I'm mashing it to make sure I get it right, you know. Hold on. I just want to... How should I explain this? If I jump and then try and get the wall jump immediately, I'm usually too low to get it. So I kind of like let myself settle for a moment on this block, and then I'm more able to get it. It looks like there's only a certain pixel you can get the wall jump, like it's a specific pixel. I don't know, haven't grinded it, but I do find when I try and rapid fire it, I don't get it, and I do have to let myself settle. And we get it. That's going to be a second gold split in a row, which is nice. This fish, I hate it. That's why it's effing fish. This next level, I think, yeah, infinitely screen wraps both horizontally and vertically. The fish moves faster than you do. There's going to be 2 phases: destroy the balls that are circling him, and then destroy him. You basically want to just try and track this dude as much as possible and stay glued to him. I had a decent fish fight. I've had better, I think. What I was going to say was I'm showing this one off particularly, but to show that, like, the second phase, you can track them pretty well and get a quick ending if you're decent at it. So if you're feeling like all hope is lost on this boss and you're trying it yourself, it's not. You can get lucky and figure it out. And I think there may be a starting position for the fish. I didn't grind it out too much, but I felt like when I fell left and then to the right, I appeared directly to the left of him. I don't even remember if I did that here or not, but just saying that there might be a cycle or like a deterministic start to it. But let this roll out. It was a decent fight. The balls are going to deal a shit ton of damage to you per frame, so be careful. The fish melts your life. The only saving grace on the balls is that they move quickly and pass through you quickly. I'm not sure if the lasers are phase 2, or if there's 3 phases. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to the details. And I'm just like trying to keep him in my sights, knowing if he goes up and to the right, he's going to appear down and to the left of me, you know, and trying to keep that in mind. Many times I could stay right next to him and inside that first layer and just whip, but it's tough. And right now I'm just trying to track him, which is a pain. And I track him, and we managed to stay under his belly and get a pretty good second phase. Like, that felt really good. That was much better than the first one. Okay, final level. Hell yeah. Dudes will see this crazy skull-looking thing and just be like, hell yeah. So, I've had runs where I just start out belly down underneath him and kill him in one cycle. I had taken I basically threw the run the last time before this to this guy by getting too close and then rolling through him, taking a ton of damage, and being on the left side and fucking everything up. So I started standing just to keep myself safe. Also, I probably didn't show it off, but this run started with a failed run at the final boss before it. So the run right before this, I got to the final boss and was one hit away from killing him and died. So I was fueled a little bit by vengeance, yeah, but I was also fueled by wanting to just get a damn run to the end. So I opted for the safer strat. I knew at least we'd get a 1030, so I was okay with that. And make up for not recording my 1034. Get out of here as quickly as you can to reduce lag. I forgot to jump one extra time here, so I didn't pull the screen up enough to see the boss fully. I don't know if that reduces lag. I also don't know if it changes the pattern of his fireballs in his second phase. First phase is things come raining down from the sky. Second phase is he's shooting fireballs at you. And then we got the final boss phase. You can just stay belly down and stay underneath him and kill him pretty quickly. You got to move out every now and then because he does go up and down and you don't want to get clipped. But I was like, oh no, I can't see the top as well. But we still just whip like a mad person. I probably could have went underneath him a little more in that first section, but playing it safe, I actually didn't remember how many continues we had. So I just wanted to kill this fucker. Get up and run to the left, maybe to reduce lag. I didn't time out how long this next transition takes. So the boss right now is settling in on the right-hand side, and I'm keeping him off screen, hopefully to reduce lag. I actually don't know if that's the thing. But you can set it up perfectly where you die while he's finishing, because he can deal damage to you now, but you can't damage him until he settles. And it's the pelican head you want to hit, or the peacock head, or whatever. You could die right on top of him, and he's like finally spawning in, and then use your iframes on the next life to whip the ever-living shit out of him and get a really good chunk of damage right in the beginning. I didn't do that here because I don't know the timing for it, but I've had it happen. We just get a decent kill on here. He's got a couple of different things that he does. Let me just jump over him and do whatever. I don't think there's too much to talk about here. He could deal massive damage to you with that core. I've had it just rob like 2-3 stocks of life for me in one transition, so I'm really just trying to play carefully here. And just whip him a bunch. Time ends when you get the 1,000,000 points transferred into your account on the upper left. And that's it. I'm happy with that. And I'm going to keep grinding. Oh yeah, I'm popping off a little bit, but it's 12:30 in the morning at that point, so I'm popping off very quietly. But yeah, I was happy with that. I was happy with that run for sure. I'm going to try and grind for a sub 10. I really made this because I don't see any documentation out, and I don't see any speedrun tutorials. So even though I'm not a pro, I still wanted to give my casual take on it in case there's other casuals wanting to check it out. Hell, even just wanting to get a 1cc or something. So yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. I will also say at the very end of this, there's a little bit of comic relief, not in my playthrough, but in the game. If you let the ending play out until the very end, you hear a little comic relief, and I'll let you hear it for yourself. Anyway, yeah, hope this tutorial has helped someone, and see you on the boards. Thanks to the mods and the runners. Peace.